this sort of thing. This is fun.
Hi, I'm LeAnna Beach with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, PenFed Realty. I work at the East Office. We have several offices, including a brand new one downtown. It's been open about 3 or 4 months.
Yay! All right.
And this is James Clendenin. He's been here before, but I asked him to special today because I want to talk about something that happened in your second district that has to do with real estate.
Yeah.
It's a commercial real estate deal, and it was very unusual.
It was very unusual, and it's the third district. I don't mean to. I shouldn't have corrected you. No.
Well,
no.
I'm friends with the person who
I know
was
you're
the second district
you're,
person.
one of your great friends is the second district, so
Well,
you have second
he was.
district on your mind.
It was Pete Meitzner. Now it's Becky Tuttle.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I'm used to saying Pete. That's how that's. So
It's all good. You know, this deal down in Southeast Wichita.
So let's tell them what it is, because we know what it is. We're talking about the Starlight Theater.
Yeah.
And so let's back up and kind of tell them it was the people who owned it were just wanting to sell it because they were wanting to retire.
They were. Well, it really was a sad situation, and all around. One of the owners had passed away and had given it to one of his managers, and the manager really just needed to sell it and move on. And so what we found was after the zoning had been changed and people had found out that it was going to be sold and closed, we had an outpouring from the public of people that just said, no, you can't do this. This is a legacy business in our district. It's a part of the fabric of the quality of life of Wichita.
And one of the problems you're having in your district is that businesses aren't particularly coming there. They're leaving, they're closing up shop, and you are getting some great businesses. I can't wait for the pool thing.
Oh, no.
Anyway, so, but, that's one of the problems that you're having is, and you don't have a variety of businesses either.
Yeah, it was so important to make sure that the Starlight stayed open because it really is a stable influence in the area. The business had never really lost money.
Right.
There are up and down years,
right. But that happens with the weather.
It does. And so, the city of Wichita eventually stepped in, but my goal was just to find a buyer for it and then find someone who could operate and lease the facility. And so it was a very complex deal. We were able to help get that done with the help of Mark Knowles and with the help of a couple of other people. And it was very complex. It was very hard. We did in about 2 weeks what it normally takes months to accomplish.
So on a commercial real estate deal, one of the deals that's very different about it is it takes months. Usually on a residential deal, you go out and you look for houses. You might find one in the first month that takes anywhere from 30 to 45 days to close, and you're done. On a commercial deal, it can take 2 or 3 years sometimes to get done.
It can.
And it just has to do with the changing and what you guys were talking about, changes of zoning. So if you were looking at, okay, we have this big empty lot, we now need to change it to be something different.
Yep.
And that happens a lot in residential. Like if you have a bunch of single-family houses and you want to build a duplex, you would have to change the zoning to a multifamily type situation. And you have to go around, do a letter to everybody who lives within a certain radius, and then they have a hearing downtown. And so all of this happens on a pretty regular basis. So when the outpouring of the people came and you said, okay, well, let's look at this differently, how did you find the guy to run it?
Well, we had a deal and we lost it. We had another deal and we lost it, and it just
that's gotta be heartbreaking.
It was so gut wrenching and heart wrenching because not only was it just a couple of people wanting to buy a business, but I have a whole community depending on what I'm doing behind the scenes to make this happen. And so finally, I just called everybody that I knew that might be interested in buying land for that purpose. And honestly, the very last minute, we had someone step up and say, let me take a look at that a little closer. And it was just a matter of calling people and asking.
Yes.
Hey, just say no if you need to, but I'm asking, is this something you'd be interested in? And I'd do my best city council sales pitch.
Yeah. We have a great city, a great District 3.
What this means for the community. And lo and behold, we were able to do it. We had a guy named Blake Smith who runs the Admiral Twin Drive-In in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to come up and buy the actual business portion to lease and run the facilities there.
Right. So it worked out really well for your district. And one of the things that, because I hardly ever go to the drive-in.
Yeah.
I don't have kids. I like to be inside where it's air conditioned. But I do it probably once every couple of years just for the fun of it.
Sure.
It's just a different thing to do. But one of the things that I had never thought of, and one of the communities that had the uprising, were the people that had special needs kids.
Yes, yeah, very much. So if you ever go to the drive-in, and I take my family because I live close 2 or 3 times a year, when you go, you see cars packed with kids. You do see kids that have special needs in one way or the other, and so many of those families reached out to me, and I said, you know what, I see you all out there. And so it makes the quality of life for people that can't normally take their kids to a movie theater to be able to do it. Not only that, if you have a lot of kids, it's extremely affordable to take your family.
Or a slumber party of 8-year-olds.
It is. That's why the drive-in's always packed, because it's a fun thing to do, and I think everybody should go once a year. Everybody in the city of Wichita should go once a year, at least.
My favorite movie with the drive-in is Grease.
Oh my gosh. I saw that with my mom when it came out, actually, at the drive-in. And
there's Sandy is swinging in the swing.
Yeah, don't make me sing, please. Because I might sing a few notes from that movie. Wow, that's great.
But yeah, that's like my favorite movie that has a drive-in in it. But yeah, it does. It's like a historical part of the United States. You go to a drive-in, and I think if we lost it, they're not being replaced.
They're not actually. I also was receiving phone calls from drive-in owners around the country saying, you really can't let this drive-in close. It is one of the crown jewels of drive-ins in the country. And I said, really? They said, yeah. The Starlight does so well, it's financially way better than most drive-ins do, and it's so nice. It's clean. It's kept up. Two screens. You really just need to do what you can to save it. And so, there was a lot of pressure, but it was good pressure. And I've got to tell you, it all happened because the community stepped up and said, this is important to us. And it allowed me to do my job as a council member. Didn't make it necessarily easier, but they gave me a much bigger voice to make it happen.
And you can walk away when your council term is finished, whenever you want that to be, and go, yes, I feel like I gave back and I did well for my community. You can walk away with that.
This is one of those things that really makes it feel like the time that I've had in office really worth it. It really is, because you're able to do something so good for the community and continue to make Southeast Wichita one of those places that's an opportunity zone.
Well, I'll be back next week, and I will be my own guest. Actually, Cheryl's going to interview me about something that I'm doing, so I'll see you next week.